Hello again. Today I would like to talk to you about something which moves people and which is, after the be do have, the next strongest motivating, self-motivating mechanism. We call this emotions. Now, you have logic which makes people think. I'm going to show you. I'm now logically thinking. Should I give a hand to you or should I not give a hand to you? Should I give a hand to you? Should I not give a hand to you? I'm thinking. Now, thinking is an important process. It ends in an end result, which is a decision, hopefully, sometimes an indecision. So thinking makes people think and decide, and that's logic. Now, once I decided something, I have to move. I have to go to you and give yourself a hand. And this is done with emotions. Do you see? Other example. A banker, when he looks at a contract for 3 days, logically is thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? At some moment, the banker decides, okay, I'll do it. Now he needs a pen. He needs to take the pen. This is an emotion. He needs to open the pen. This is another emotion. And he needs to put his signature there. This is another emotion. And he can always say, I don't do it. And that's also an emotion. Life is full of emotions. You walk in the city center, in fear, in the middle of the evening. There is a dog there, and the dog barks, woo, woo, woo. One day later, you walk on the same boulevard in enthusiasm, and the dog follows you. Same boulevard, same dog. Life is full of emotions. You come home like this, and your partner, are you again home? The day later you come home, same home, by the way. Same partner, by the way. But this time you come home in enthusiasm, and your partner, oh honey, welcome. Life is full of emotions. When a baby is just born, it cannot see and cannot talk. But I promise you, when mother is in grief, baby is in grief. When mother is in enthusiasm, baby is in enthusiasm. Life is full of emotions. And either you understand the emotions, or you do not understand the emotions. And if you do not understand the emotions, you become an emotional marionette, meaning you cannot control your emotions anymore. I give you two extreme examples when you cannot control your emotions anymore. One example is the example of a Japanese man. A Japanese man says to his wife, I love you, the following, Isako-san, suki desu de. And I'm not kidding. He puts there a mask, a poker face mask. But in the evening, he drinks a sake and all the emotions come out. This is the beautiful example of a person who does not control the emotions and instead puts there a mask. Now, on the other hand, you have ladies around the Mediterranean Sea, Sicilia, etc., Napoli. And these ladies, they all emotions. This is also not correct. Correct is the following, and for ladies and for gentlemen, to have the real emotion in the exact situation. The real emotion in the exact situation. So gentlemen, if you think that a poker face is the best thing to do, to move, to sell, to motivate people, forget it. People need emotions to move. And ladies, there is nothing wrong with showing emotions, except they have to be the correct emotions according to the correct situation. Life is full of emotions. And unfortunately, there is no in between. You either know the emotions or you don't know the emotions. And if you know the emotions, life becomes very simple and very easy. People move with you together and you understand them much better. So let's look a little bit deeper at what are those emotions. There is what we call an emotional tone scale, like we can see on this slide. On this slide, you see the emotional tone scale. Tone comes from the music, which means the height of a sound. So you have low tones, fa. You have medium tones, sol. You have high tones, si. Right? Like you can see here, tone scale. There is low emotions and high emotions. And there is a scale, which means an exact sequence. Or, in music, a gamma. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, si, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And as you can see on the tone scale here, there is different exact emotions in an exact sequence. Right? Now let's look a little bit deeper at these emotions. The lowest emotion is called apathy. I will show you apathy. This is when you work in the Ministry of Finance on Monday morning. Or when you drank a little bit too much Saturday night, apathy. Apathy is a vampire emotion. It means the following. When you meet a person in apathy and you do not understand this emotion, you are going down, because a vampire emotion is an emotion which sucks you down. But if you understand the emotion of apathy, it will not suck you down so much. So that's apathy. Just above apathy, you have grief. It's crisis. I'm sorry, it's not my fault. It's difficult, terrible situation. It's her fault. This is grief. Now, grief is also a vampire emotion. If you don't understand grief, you are going to cry together with the person. Grief. Now, just above grief, you have fear. Fear is also a vampire emotion. You all see dangers. Oh, crisis. Oh, fear is a vampire emotion. And just above fear, you have a very interesting emotion. We call this covert hostility. This is the person who is very nice with you, but at the same time wants to kill you in the back. In sales and in management, this is a terrible emotion. If you as a manager or as a salesperson don't see this emotion, you might waste all your time and your nerves with the other person. Definitely in private life, if you're married with a person in covert hostility, one day you wake up with poison and you eat poison in your soup. Do you understand? So from covert hostility, over strach, over grief and apathy, we call this vampire emotions. Meaning, if you do not understand this emotion, it will suck you down and you will not know why. Beautiful example. You pass your driving license. You're very happy, enthusiastic, and you go to the office where they will give you your driving license, and you open the door very enthusiastically. 2 seconds later, you're in boredom. Why? Must have been that there was a vampire emotion in front of you, which you did not understand. But if you would have known it, you would not be so low. Now, above covert hostility, there is anger. Now, anger is not a vampire emotion. Anger is basically a negative emotion. When a person is in anger, he sees everyone as enemies. He is against everyone, wants to destroy everything. But if you have a person like that in front of you, this person will not make you do other things. Example. If I want to give you a hand, and I come to you, and there is a person who tells me, why do you give a hand to this person? I might change my mind. But if I want to give you a hand, and there is a person who tells me, don't give a hand to this person, I might discuss with this person, but I do not necessarily change my mind. Do you understand the difference? It's important in management and in sales to see that anger is above covert hostility, meaning the following: I prefer my secretary telling me, boss, fuck you, than my secretary telling me, yes, boss, how are you, boss? Everything okay, boss? Because I don't know what she will put in my tea, you understand? Right? So, anger is a higher emotion. My staff, when they telephone clients, and the client in the beginning is in fear, and then goes in anger, don't telephone me again, I say to them, bravo, continue. Because anger is higher. The client goes up in the emotions. It's like water when it boils. Don't put the lid on the water. Let the water boil. And the emotion will go open and higher and higher. So we come now in the next emotion, which is called antagonism. Comes from the Greek. Antagonai, playing against. You say yes, I say no. You say no, I say yes. You say something, I say yes, but. This is the emotion in most big cities in the morning, 9 o'clock. Antagonism. Antagonism is a negative emotion, not a vampire emotion. If I want to give you a hand and someone tells me, don't give a hand, I say, fuck you, and I will give a hand. Do you understand? Now, above antagonism, you have boredom. Now, boredom is the first positive emotion. It's just actually at the border between the positive and the negative emotions. I prefer my secretary telling me, boss, I can do this tomorrow, right? Then my secretary telling me, boss, of course, boss, I will do this, boss. And she never did this. Do you understand? Now, above boredom, you have conservatism. Conservatism is the following. You feel good, you're interested, but not too much. Conservatism. And above conservatism, you have strong interest, where the interest goes outside you, where you really see the things. That's strong interest. And of course, you also have enthusiasm. Now, in business, it's not so good to show too much enthusiasm. When you're too enthusiastic, you better go to the toilet and then you come back and show a little bit more conservative. Except if you live in Mexico or in Milano or Napoli, there you can show this enthusiasm. Okay? Now, so as you can see on the slide here, there are different emotions. There is apathy, there is grief, there is covert hostility, and just under your fear, these are vampire emotions. You have anger, antagonism, negative emotions. You have boredom, conservatism, strong interest, enthusiasm, positive emotions. And they follow an exact scale. Now, every one of us, including you, we have three emotions. The first emotion is who we really are for the long period of time. We call this the chronic emotion. It's who we are behind the mask. Now, the second emotion is who we are in situations, short term, also called ad hoc or short-term emotions or situation emotions. The next emotion is called the mask. Now, nothing wrong with the mask, it's just a mask. It's an emotion we put on when we are in front of people. I will give you some examples. So you wake up in the morning. Boredom, situation or short-term emotion. You take your shower. Strong interest, real emotion. You watch yourself in the mirror. Fear, situation, emotion. You eat your breakfast. Strong interest, real emotion. Now you take your car, 9 o'clock. Mask, antagonism. Who are you? Sheep, pedé. This is a mask, antagonistic mask. Then you have the coming in the office mask. Good morning, how are you? This is coming in the office mask. You also have masks per region. For instance, California, hi! And 2 minutes later they forget you. Or in China, ni hao. And you take off the mask and they are higher. Different regions, different masks. So you have the real person with a chronic or long-term emotion. You have the short-term or situation emotion. And you have the mask. Now you as a manager or as a salesperson or just as a partner, when you have someone in front of you, you have to be able to look through the mask, isn't it? Now I will show you how to do this. But before showing you how to do this, you will have to do an exercise actually for the rest of your life. We call this emotional stretching exercise. Every day, 5 minutes. With your partner, with your colleagues, with your kids, even in bed, you can play different emotions. And you should do this. And you should do this every day until it becomes a second nature, because life is full of emotions. And when you walk on the street, you have to know immediately what emotion is coming in front of you. So, please, from now on, do this exercise every day. And the exercise is the following. You go in apathy, in grief, in fear, in covert hostility, in anger, in antagonism, in boredom, in conservatism, in silent interest, enthusiasm, up and down and up and down and up and down every day. Do this exercise every day. And one day I will show you, you will be able to feel the emotions from distance without words, without tricks. Because emotions are like musical wavelengths. And you feel them if you really are there and if you really have attention on this. Right? So do this, please, every day. Up and down in the emotions. And please, you follow the emotional tone scale as I showed you in the slides just before. Now I give you some tricks to look through the mask, to know who is behind that mask. First trick. In strong interest, you say hello to a person. And you look, what is the emotion? I will show you the response on this hello. And you will have to show me, or at least think and see what emotion it is. So there is a person coming to me who says, hello, me. Apathy, right? If I do the following, hello, this is grief, right? And if I do the following, who are you? This is fear, right? And if I do, hello, this is covert hostility, isn't it? And if I do the following, this is anger. Or I can also do the following. Hello, this is antagonism. And if I do the following, when someone says to me, hello, hello, this is boredom. If I say to you, when you tell me hello, if I say to you, hello, this is conservatism. And if I say hello to you, this is strong interest or enthusiasm. Do you see this? So the first trick to see through the mask of the people and to see who is this person in short-term emotion, situation, is the following. You say in strong interest or enthusiasm, hello, and you look. That's the first trick. Can you do this? Now the second trick is stronger. You ask basically a simple, personal, unexpected question to a person. So you ask a simple, personal, unexpected question to a person. And you don't listen to what the person says, but you watch the time it takes to answer you. I will show you. Imagine you ask me, what is your zodiac sign? And so you ask me this. What's your zodiac sign? Me. My zodiac sign is Aquarius. That's strong interest. Now, if I say the following, well, actually, I don't know if I have to tell you this. This is a personal thing. I have no problem to tell you this, but not in public. So let me see. Actually, I am a Aquarius. This is conservatism, isn't it? Now, if you ask me again, what's your zodiac? And I would say, zodiac. Is this important? This would be boredom, isn't it? So, in a positive emotion, people will answer simple, personal, unexpected questions. Now, if I would be in antagonism and you ask me, what's your zodiac? And I would say, none of your business. Or I would do the following. This is antagonism, isn't it? Or if I would say, oh, all these questions, this would be anger, right? It would be very open. In a negative emotion, people, when you ask a simple personal question, immediately react on you or openly don't want to answer you. In that case, you have a negative emotion in front of you. Now, if you would ask me, what's your zodiac? And I would say the following, interesting question, what's yours? And I would say, I knew it. I would be in covert hostility, isn't it? And that's very interesting. In the vampire emotions, when you ask a simple, personal, unexpected question, the person in front of you, one, never answers your question, and two, makes you feel bad. So if you ask a simple, personal, unexpected question to a person in the street or in your office or a client or at home, and the other person does not answer your question and makes you feel bad, please don't doubt. The person at that moment is in covert hostility. At that moment. Doesn't mean that he's always there, but at that moment for sure is in a vampire emotion. Similar in fear. If you ask me, what's your zodiac? And I say, why? Are you from the police or something? You also will feel not correct with this. It's more open than in covert hostility. I did not answer the question, by the way. This is fear. And if you would ask me the same question and I would say, oh my God, now you tell me this. My father and mother never told me when I was born. Terrible. I'm not answering your question and I make you feel, oh, pity with me, isn't it? In apathy, you can imagine what happens. If you ask me a question and I'm in apathy, I will not answer your question. I will do the following. So, this trick is a very important trick. Ask simple, personal, unexpected questions. And when you get an answer, the person is in the high emotions. Now, in strong interest or enthusiasm, the person is in the very high emotions. If it takes a bit longer time, you have conservatism. And if sometimes he answers it but not really interested in it, it's in boredom. And when you have an immediate reaction against you or an immediate showing that he or she does not want to answer you, you are in the negative emotions. And then, in the vampire emotions, you have no answer, but you feel strange somehow. Do you understand? Please use this. One day it will save your life. Because sometimes in business there is some covert hostile people next to you, behind you, in front of you. Learn to see this very fast. Now, with one question, you will not know the real emotion. You will know the real situation emotion. But regularly, if you ask questions, you will see the real emotion, because that is the emotion which comes back regularly. And then you will see really who is this person. Very important trick when you want to find a life partner. See where this person is on the emotions. Now, there is one small detail there which is very important. In conservatism, a person might socially lie or not answer because he doesn't want to make you feel bad. Now, but the only difference is that you will not feel bad compared to covert hostility. In covert hostility, the person will not answer, but you will feel bad. Example. Imagine you ask me about your glasses, which you might have or not. Imagine I don't like your glasses. And you say, do you like my glasses? And I say, me personally, I don't like them, but the most important is that you like them. This would be strong interest, isn't it? Now, if I were in conservatism, and you ask me, do you like my glasses? And I say, you know, this is something personal, isn't it? I'm not answering your question. But you do not feel bad. While in a negative emotion, I will say, I hate your glasses. People in negative emotions, they use so-called openness to hurt people. They say, I always say what I think, right? Even if it's bad, actually. That's antagonism or anger. That's a negative emotion. While in the vampire emotions, one, they will not answer your question, and two, you will feel not good. Do you understand? So that's the second trick in the emotions. The first trick is, hello? The second trick is asking simple, personal, unexpected questions. There is much more tricks. There is actually 24 tricks to know who is behind the mask. But this we see in the big seminars, or you can contact us to know more about this. There is also some books written about it, which you can read by after that to really understand who is in front of you. But with the two tricks I gave you today, you can already see around and see who is there, at least the situation emotion, right? Now, once you know the emotion, what do you have to do to bring people up? Or what do you have to do to communicate to people? Well, 2 steps actually. The first step is you match the emotion. You match the emotion. The second step is you go maximum +1 above. Now, what do I mean with +1 above? Well, I show you on the slides. Basically, what I mean with +1 above, do you see these numbers here on the slides? Apathy is 0.05. Grief is 0.5. Fear is 1.0. Covert hostility is 1.1. Anger is 1.5. Antagonism 2.0, etc. Now, how to talk with a person and to bring a person up? I told you, first, you match the emotion. And second, you go maximum +1 above. So imagine there is an apathic person. You know, apathia or apathy, 0.05. +1 is 1.05. So what do I do with an apathic person? Well, I do the following with an apathic person. So what do I do with an apathic person? I do the following with an apathic person. I go on his level, and then I go to grief. I do the following. Life is difficult, isn't it? And he will act. He will go up, and I will go up. Do you understand this? I give an example with a person in grief, 0.5, as we saw on the slides. So when a person is in grief, +1, I can go maximum to anger, right? I will not show you anger, I will show you fear. So if a person in front of me or next to me is in grief, I do the following. What's happening, my friend? And he goes up. When a person is in fear, 1.0, I can go maximum to 2.0. How to do this? Well, I show you. Imagine a person is in fear. I say, this is not possible, right? This is not possible anymore, this situation. And he will say, no, this is not possible. Actually, this is what fascistoid people do. They try to bring people up with antagonism or anger, and those people are in fear. Now, when a person is in covert hostility, what you do? You can go to antagonism. You can first match and then go to antagonism. Imagine the person next to me is in covert hostility. He says, you're a good salesperson. I would say, and you're a good buyer. Now, our time is important. You're a professional. I'm a professional. Let's make a decision. Do you understand? I'm not showing antagonism against the person. I'm showing antagonism against the situation. Do you understand this? Now, if a person is in boredom and you want to bring the person up, you go in conservatism. Very important. Now, lots of ladies misunderstand boredom with apathy. And if you're a lady watching, well, here is my best advice. If you come home and your partner is watching television in his chair or his divan or whatever, and he's watching television in boredom, don't go in antagonism, please. Because at that moment, both of you will go down the scale. What you have to do when your partner is in boredom, you go in boredom and then you go in conservatism, and he will go up. And if you are thinking that every sales or every meeting should be enthusiastic, well, have a better look. You do this with kids' enthusiasm. Now, this is how you bring people up. So you match and you go just a little bit above. You can also use this in marketing. In marketing, you can do the following. Give you an example. L'Oreal. In the past, Penelope Cruz. L'Oreal, because I'm worth it. What happened? All the people in fear went to L'Oreal. But at that moment, they saw that maybe this was not the correct people. Now they use Scarlett Johansson, and she says, L'Oreal, because you're worth it. This is strong interest. Do you understand? So you can play these emotions in live, in a meeting, in bed, on the phone. When you make marketing and promotion videos, you use the emotions because emotions are live. And either you understand them and you play with them, or you don't understand them and the emotions play with you. There is unfortunately no in between. Now, if you want to become an expert in emotions, and I wish you this, you better contact me right now to follow an extra training and extra exercises to really become an expert in emotions. Success!